my channel. My name is Shamika and this is Check the Rhymes. I am super excited that you're here. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all, it is still Black Music Month and I am still celebrating here on Check the Rhymes. I am super excited about today's show because me and this guest, we're having a meeting in the ladies' room. Because when we walk in the room, the men all pause. Do y'all get it? Okay, Klymaxx, yay! I have Lungs joining me. Y'all, Lorena, Stewart is in the building. We're gonna be talking about, some unfortunate news, but we're also gonna take a walk down memory lane as well. So stay tuned because you don't wanna miss today's show. I am so excited for today's guest, y'all. I have Lorena Lungs Stewart in the building from Klymaxx. Welcome to Check the Rhymes.
Hi, good afternoon. It's great to be here.
Oh my goodness. It's like we have so much to talk about, but we're going to have to zero in on the main thing today. We're going to be talking about the fact that Klymaxx is, and I got air quotes here, is being honored at this year, actually it's on June 25th, at the Women Songwriters Hall of Fame. And some of you may remember I did an interview with Janice McLean-Deloach a few weeks ago. So let's just dig in. So how did you find out about the fact that Klymaxx was even being honored, allegedly?
Well, actually on Facebook, we were getting a lot of tags and congratulations on this award. And I think there was Bernadette or possibly Lynn that gave me a call and she was like, "Oh, did you see it?" I was like, yeah, I just saw it. It's so exciting. Wow, what an honor.
Wow, because I got a press release and I was like, and I'm sure other journalists did the same thing. We got it confused with the Songwriters Hall of Fame. And as I kept digging, I was like, this is not the same thing.
Right. Definitely not, which we learned a little bit more down the line. I guess it was just published or advertised on the Billboard site. Mm-hmm. It had nothing to do with Billboard. We were under the impression that it was through Billboard and, just excited. And then the ball just started unraveling.
Oh, do tell. So how did you find out kind of where the trail led to?
Well, the way we kind of found out is that it was a little suspicious because we saw this honor, but none of us had been contacted about it. Wow. So, yeah. So, Lynn reached out to them to say, "Oh, we're appreciative of this honor. We need more information. And, we need to have the picture changed because the photo that you have of Klymaxx is one of our ex-band members that formed her own group, and that is not Klymaxx, as people are looking forward to see." So they changed the picture and they, but all the publicity would be directed to Cheryl Cooley's page. And we still didn't get an invite. We gave them information and it just spiraled out of control. This is like, it's a fraud. That's what it is, because especially for a Songwriters Hall of Fame, we all did some writing, but the songs that Klymaxx are known for were, Bernadette, Lynn, and Joyce did the majority of the writing on that. And so we're like, well, it's just getting a little crazy here. Something's not right. So long story short, it's of our opinion that Miss Deloach is a friend of Cheryl's, and they had no intention on the original members being there at all. We couldn't get in. Right. Even after all the information we provided them, still nothing. And the last thing we heard from them was, well, just let us know if you guys are coming and we'll let people know you're in the audience.
What? In the audience?
In the audience. Yes. So they had interviews set up. They canceled them all. We sent them, just to let them know who they were actually dealing with, proof that, there's no ownership in the name Klymaxx. Like they were saying, well, we have a member saying they own the name. That's not true. Songwriters credits. We sent them information over from ASCAP and Sony where, Cheryl's under investigation for adding her names to songs she never wrote, including songs that were written and produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, Otis Stokes, Stephen Shockley, Rod Temperton. It just goes on. And they were not, paying any attention to that. So long story short, we found out, there was no recognition for Klymaxx at all. It was a version of Klymaxx that there was only one original member in there, which was Cheryl Cooley.
That is very interesting because when I spoke with Janice, I asked her, and I don't remember if it made it to the footage that's on YouTube, but I specifically asked her, will the honorees be performing? And she's kind of skated around that question. Can you tell us a little bit about the performances? Like who's doing tributes and, are the honorees performing?
Well, I can tell you that some of them are.
Okay.
And I will tell you to stay tuned.
Okay.
And the reason I will tell you that is because we're still going through all of the show agenda and we don't have all the bugs quite ready and worked out yet. And when we do give that to the media, we need to make sure we've got it 100% right. But I can tell you that there will be performances from honorees and there will be collaborations and there will be some covers of some of the honorees, their songs in performance by other people. So that I can tell you. Joe Kia is going to be performing. Leah Udor Quarton will also be performing. That name, I always kind of messed it up a little bit. And then there are other ones that, oh my gosh, we have Maria, who is a harpist.
Yes.
And Maria Antoinette. I don't know if you know her.
Yes, yes.
Wow. So there you go. Maria Antoinette is opening up the show.
Mm-hmm. And I even asked, are the honorees going to even be there? And she said, her response was, some of them will, but she never said who. She kind of played it as if, let's let this be a surprise and let people buy their tickets and find out later who's going to be there, and even charging. I mean, I get it. They're trying to make money, but she was even charging for people to log on to the Zoom to watch that way as well.
Oh my gosh.
I also reached out to request interviews with the honorees. And I only got to talk to one. So
okay. And there isn't a need to really say who that was.
Right. Yeah. For the fans that have purchased tickets thinking they're going to see Klymaxx, the group Klymaxx, what do you have to say to them? Because they've already got their plans and getting ready to fly up to the DC, I think is where the event is on Friday.
Yeah, it's really saddening to us, and we apologize to all of our fans out there that have, contributed to this event expecting to see us. And unfortunately, we won't be there. Never were even invited, which is just crazy to me. And, it's no fault of our own. We really apologize. We would have loved to have been there because, it is an honor to be recognized anyway, but it has to be done in the right way. And this is just totally all wrong. And it's the only word we can say for it is that it's total fraud, and it's fraud on so many levels. And it's really just disrespect, for the Klymaxx brand, the name, our hard work, our goodwill, we put into it,
Yeah.
And it's so unfortunate. It's very sad. And, we just want it to be known, that there's nothing on the Klymaxx members especially those that should be honored. It's not on us at all. And we would have loved to have been there. But I guess the intention was for us never to be there in the first place.
Right. So I wondered who, I think I even asked how the honorees were picked. And, it was, I guess, I don't know if there's a board or something that voted, or they were just people that submitted names and stuff. I'm on the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame. It's one of the committees, and the way that we do things is we all kind of brainstorm and come up with names, and we vote several times before we pick who's being honored. So I thought maybe that they had some kind of system like that in place, but it didn't sound like it. So I don't know who's vetting who's being honored, who's not, and checking those receipts, like you were saying, like who's on the songwriting credits, who's truly on those songwriting credits.
And we sent them all of that documentation because we have the original filings from when the songs were first recorded who the writers were. And, unfortunately, somehow ASCAP allowed those credits to be changed or revisions made. And we didn't know for several years.
Wow. I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless about that.
Yeah. Even credits on songs that my husband and his, partner, Tim, my husband is Alton Wilkie Stewart and, Timmy Gatling. They produced a song and wrote the song for us called Shame on our fourth album. And she's claimed writing credits on that as well.
Wow. So have the people like your husband and others that have written, like, you mentioned Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and Rod Temperton, have those people also kind of flagged their songs as well, saying, hey, she didn't write on these?
Yeah, well, we tried to get the word out to them, and it's totally under investigation, and some of it has been pulled already, and she's been asked not to do any more submissions. But yeah, it just goes back, and it's really sad because, I'm the one that's always been, very optimistic, known as the peacemaker of the group. And, I love hard, I forgive hard, but, over the years, it's just, wait a minute, when you get me to the point where I'm just done, you've really, really had to have gone far. And although I have love for all of them, this is just unacceptable because you're messing with other people's, livelihoods, their money. If you're collecting money, and this has been going on for years, and we haven't seen any of it, it's just wrong. It's just wrong on so many levels. And it just shows there's no respect, integrity, or anything. It's just crazy. It's unbelievable to me after so many years.
Now, have you guys spoken to Cheryl about this particular event?
No, we have not. When it first came out, because I saw it on her page at that time, I didn't just until recently, just delete her because it's too much. But I wrote on her page and I was like, oh, this is a great honor, no response from her, of course. But, that was the only reaching out that we did, but there was never any response back, even to the comments. We're glad we found out, initially we weren't going to really, just bring too much light to it, but just the fact that so many people, have commented and said, oh, well, we got tickets and we thought it was because, the original members were going to be there and they were excited. And now it's like, are they going to, we can't be there. We weren't even invited. That's the whole thing right there.
Now, do you know if any of the other honorees were invited? I know the one that I spoke to, she was, but I wondered if others. I know the host is Jody Watley. She's planning to be there, but I wondered if the other people that are being honored are actually the ones being honored and if they're going to show up.
Right. That I do not know at all.
Okay.
I don't know. And I hope so for them, so they can get their recognition that's deserved. But just the Klymaxx situation, the saga continues.
Is there any way possible that the rift can be mended, do you think, at some point, maybe?
At this point, I don't. And for me to say that, that's really saying something, because just the level of disrespect and dishonesty, and when you start messing with people's business, their money, then that becomes something totally different. As far as mending fences, no.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Now, is it supposed to be, I know there was the whole trademark case and all that a few years ago, but is it supposed to, because it is Klymaxx featuring Cheryl Cooley, is that what they should have put on the flyer and on their press release and website and all that stuff? Is that how it should have been worded?
Exactly. That is how it should have been done, because when we never settled on who was going to own the name, who had the rights, that was how it was stipulated that moving forward, it would indicate which member, of Klymaxx, because for a while there were 3 different versions. So if it was Bernadette, it will be Klymaxx featuring Bernadette Cooper, or Klymaxx featuring Joy Serby, whoever's name, and there was even a project Bernadette and I worked on, and it was Klymaxx featuring Bernadette Cooper and Lorena Lungs, just so you can't just say Klymaxx, because if you say Klymaxx, people are really going to get excited. Oh my gosh, they're going to do it,
right.
And so, I think a lot of people were looking forward to that, especially with the Songwriters. If it's Songwriters Hall of Fame, the songs that we're known for, certain members wrote those songs, but those members weren't getting recognized. And
right.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's mind blowing, and it's very unfortunate, for our fans out there and people that are looking forward to it. Because when we got the initial, hey, you're going to be recognized, of course we were excited too, and then it just went into this womp womp womp.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I hope that you all can get your recognition, because it's overdue and definitely needed, because I'm still playing Klymaxx records in my house.
Thank you. Yeah, we love that. I mean, we struggled together as kids coming up in this business, and here it is 40 years later, and we're still having these issues. It's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Well, and I'm backtracking just for a quick second, but were you guys able to get Janice on the phone or whoever else is in charge of the event to say, hey, I know you said emails were exchanged and you guys sent some materials there, but did you ever talk to them on the phone?
I believe Bernadette may have. I can't be 100% sure, but I know she was in contact with who the publicist was.
Okay.
And in the midst of all this, they quit because it was just, yes.
That would explain why they didn't respond to me when I asked.
Right, because it was like, wait a minute. Because when Bernadette spoke with them, it was like they were shocked. It was like, something isn't right, and there was some communication back and forth, but the last communication was that they had quit because they didn't want to be a part of it after that. It just wasn't right.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I had a couple of fan questions for you real quick. I thought I would throw these at you because somebody wanted to know, how does it feel to be one of the original baddies and set the standard for for women that are considered baddies. And I'm like, I don't really know how to explain what baddies is, but just I guess a bad mama jamma. Look at me pulling out old school slang.
Old school slang. Yeah, we love it. We were definitely doing something at the time that was kind of unheard of at the time. There were a couple of, all female bands at the time. We had the Go-Go's, the Bangles, but us to be able to go from R&B to punk to pop, just to blaze those trails. And then here today, 40 years later, you see it in other, female artists. You just see little sprinkles of Klymaxx in there, the confidence, the just being good on your axis, playing. And Beyonce, she toured with the all female female band too. So it's really an honor, that we were able to do what we did and then still have, this time of longevity, with it. And we're seeing it in our, the ones that took the wheel and kept driving it for us.
Yeah. I have a funny story for you. It just reminded me of this when I can remember sitting in my marketing class. I think I was in high school at the time. And this guy, he would be like, I know your mama's in Klymaxx. And I'm like, no, she's not. And I saw her on the video. I know that's her. I'm like, my mama is not in Klymaxx. She is down the street working at Gerber. What are you talking about?
Oh my goodness. That's
every
funny.
Day of that, every class, he would say, just get her autograph for me. I'm like, my mama is not in that group.
Wow, that's funny. Yeah.
And I was like, if she was, don't you think I'd be walking around with a t-shirt that says my mama is in Klymaxx?
My mama's in Klymaxx. And what does your mom do?
Right.
Oh my goodness.
So the other fan question, they wanted to know if any new music is on the way.
There actually is. There's a song that Bernadette's released, May the Best Girl Win. That's out, which was actually a project that she and I were working on. And it kind of came to a halt because I got ill. I was diagnosed with breast cancer at the end of 2019. And we had completed maybe four tracks or something like that. And we did put some out as singles, but they're out right now. May the Best Girl Win. It has, I think, 5 different versions. So you get a house version, funk version, a smooth down, just different. So everybody can, have a little bit of, what they like. Okay. So that's out right now. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, and different things like that. So yeah, we're still working on some stuff. And then I'm also working on some things with my husband as well.
Okay. Of course, someone wanted to know, what would you say has been your greatest career highlight?
The greatest career highlight. Oh my gosh, there's been so many. The greatest career highlight was when we had just completed our first album, and we were on our way to the record company for a meeting, and we used to trail each other when we had to go to meetings, and our song came on the radio for the first time, and we just jumped out the car and we were turning the music up and dancing in the street. People were driving by looking at us. But I think in any artist's life, that first initial time, that's us, that's always a highlight. That's always a highlight.
So the men all pause is my affirmation when I need some confidence, when I'm going somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I knew I was looking good. You got to tell yourself that.
Right. I was like, yep, that song right there just builds confidence. So I want to thank y'all for that one.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, that's our anthem. That meeting in the ladies' room, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had somebody ask, this is funny. They wanted to know, what was that meeting about in the ladies' room?
Oh my goodness. The story behind meeting in the ladies' room is we were on the Solar label, of course, and we had Midnight Star, Shalimar, all of them. So we were all like, brothers and sisters, and we're at this event, and Reggie Calloway from Midnight Star was there with his girlfriend at the time. And Bernadette went over and gave him a big hug and kiss, and she was not having it. She was like, "Oh, what are they doing?" This is like she stormed off, and then he came up with something like, "We're gonna have to have a meeting in the ladies' room." And then he was like, "What are they talking about? What's going on?" So that's how that happened. It was like, wait a minute, it's not that much friend in the world, but we were brothers and sisters, a family. But that was how it went.
So the meeting was about we gotta check in and make sure everything's all good.
Wait a minute, what's going on around here?
I love that. Because I thought, I was thinking, it's because we tend to go to the restroom in a group.
Yes, we do. Yes.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on Check the Rhymes and clearing us up about the Women Songwriters Hall of Fame. And so the fans know that you guys will not be in attendance, and so they know what to expect. And I don't know if they can get refunds or how that works, or, whatever. I don't know. But at least they have the information.
Right. And we did want just to shed some light, for their benefit, because, people work hard for their money. And then during this pandemic and all this, funds are low. So when you get things like this, it's my opportunity to go, see something that I know I'm going to love. And then, womp, womp, womp.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Please come back on the show soon and we can have a more in-depth conversation about the music. I wanted just to make sure we got this information out, before the event, so that people are well aware of what's going on.
Oh, yeah. Well, I really enjoyed myself with you today, and it was a pleasure. Anytime.